I'm a 36-year-old man, and my 33-year-old wife of 7 years has completely shattered my trust. Back in December, we went on a cruise we'd been planning for so long. One evening, I had a little too much to drink and fell asleep. While I was out, my wife was getting ready for dinner and taking a shower. Her phone was lying there, and something in me just felt off, so I went through it. I discovered she'd been sexting with a man she met on the cruise. She was sending flirty messages any chance she got, whenever we had cell signal, even while we were docked at ports. I confronted her, and she admitted to it and said it was just silly, swore she never meant any harm, and promised it wouldn't happen again. She blamed her actions on being drunk and stupid, saying she didn't realize it was progressing into something more. I was hurt, angry, and I wanted nothing more than to distance myself at the time, but we were stuck in a cruise together. We kept arguing after we got back home. A few days after the cruise, my gut told me to check her phone again while she was asleep. She wasn't just sexting with one man. There were many different conversations with other guys on Snapchat, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and who knows where else. I didn't confront her this time. I knew there was no point because she was going to gaslight the hell out of me again. I was still sitting on this when a few days later a message came that sealed the deal for me. It was from a woman who told me my wife had been messaging her boyfriend, who's a co-worker of hers, calling him at all times during the day, even when I'm home, and harassing him when he wouldn't respond. When I confronted my wife about this, she brushed it off, saying she was just trying to be friendly with the new guy at work and that it didn't mean anything. She blamed him for being dramatic and not being appreciative of a kind gesture by a senior colleague. But at that point, her words were meaningless. I've heard every excuse, every promise, and every apology. I don't believe her anymore. I'm completely devastated. I can't look at her the same way. I feel like our entire relationship has been a lie, and I don't even know who she is anymore. Every time I think about her talking to these other people, sending photos, saying God knows what, it makes me physically sick. The betrayal cuts so deep, I don't even know how to begin processing it. She's begging me not to give up on our marriage, but I just don't see how I can move forward. Trust is the foundation of any relationship, and she's obliterated it. I know I'm at this point where I need to walk away. I feel like I'm stuck between two impossible choices. If I stay with her, I have to accept the uncertainty of never fully knowing if she's being honest. That's not a healthy way to live, constantly questioning and doubting the person who's supposed to be my partner. It's dragging me down emotionally and mentally. Not to mention the very real fear of STDs. I shouldn't have to worry about my health in my own marriage. This isn't the life I wanted to live. I don't want to live in a cloud of lies, feeling like I'm constantly walking on eggshells. I've confessed everything to my best friend, and he's looking for lawyers. I'm an absolute wreck, and I feel so humiliated that my decade-long relationship ended this way. If you have any advice for me, I'd appreciate it. Update. I've hired a lawyer who specializes in family law, and we're building a case based on my wife's repeated infidelities. Thankfully, I live in an at-fault state, which means her actions could significantly affect the division of assets, and I may be able to avoid spousal support and other obligations entirely. I've been gathering evidence relentlessly. It's been emotionally draining, but it's also necessary to ensure I'm protected in this process. My lawyer has advised me to keep detailed records of everything, texts, conversations, and to cancel the cards in her name. After everything, you'd think my wife would at least try to be honest moving forward. But no, I started having strong suspicions again. She was acting cagey, guarding her phone more than ever, and I couldn't shake the feeling that she might be cheating again. I know it didn't matter anymore, but I decided to ask her directly, and I even approached it calmly. She immediately got defensive, denied everything, and then had the audacity to get angry at me for even asking. Seriously? After everything she's done, after all the lies and betrayal, she thinks she has the right to be upset because I don't want her fucking another dude while still living under my roof? This is what I've come to realize. Cheaters seem to operate on a completely different moral compass. They don't have the same sense of guilt or fairness. Instead of recognizing the damage they've caused and showing empathy, they act like you're the problem for questioning them. It's infuriating. Story 2. Me, 29 male, and my wife, 27 female, married for 3 years, together for much longer, cheated on me, left me, ongoing affair. Is it worth it? My wife and I have been together since high school. Both of us went to college, got married shortly after. 3-year marriage. Life was good, or so we thought. I did everything I could for her. I made her the center of my life. I love her. I didn't want to be that husband that didn't let her do anything or hold her back on what she wanted to do. We traveled the world. I let her hang out with her girlfriends when she wanted to. We had date night once a week. What more could you ask for? This last spring, she went to her cousin's bachelorette party. After that weekend, it all goes downhill from there. We both worked the graveyard shift, and some nights she would be off from work and would tell me she was going to hang out with her friends. Sure, no problem. Hasn't been a big deal. But over the course of a few months, it was definitely getting suspicious. A few months later, we go to that cousin's wedding. We took off a week to spend with family. Some of her siblings and family asked me if my wife was doing okay, if we were okay. They said she was very distant, always on the phone, always missing, but always on the go. She was very short with a lot of them, they said. Got back from the wedding trip. She awkwardly was called off from work one night. She said, as she usually said, she was going to hang out with some friends that night. I texted her later in the evening, asked what she was doing. She said she was going out. I texted her again past midnight, asked if she was heading home soon and to be careful. We track each other on Find My Friends. Noticed she was still at her girlfriend's place. This isn't the first time. Morning comes and she's not at home. I call her up. Tell her to come home immediately. I just go straight for it and ask if there's another guy, and she drops the bomb. Daggers. So many daggers. I can still imagine that moment like a movie in my head. She tells me she met this guy during the bachelorette trip that turned out to also live by us. All those times she was with her girlfriends, she was actually with this guy. I can recollect how many times I've checked Find My Friends and she would be at that location. I love her deeply and value our relationship. I put aside my pride and humility and tell her I'm willing to work out our marriage even with what she's done. A lot of you probably think I'm an idiot. I ask her what she wanted. She says she doesn't know. She at first says she wants to be with me, but still wants to see the other guy. I'm angry, upset, sad, mad, whatever else feelings there are. Few days pass. We become more estranged to each other. She distances herself, then drops the next bomb. She packs up and moves out. I meet up with her a week later and we talk. From the research I've done, she's definitely in this affair fog. She doesn't seem to take responsibility for the affair or what she's done. She just continued to point blame back to me on what was wrong with our relationship, which was the first time I heard of it. And also the first time she tells me she's been unhappy. I'm blindsided. She asked me to give her some space and time. She also tells me she wants to find herself, experience the single life, and that she's not leaving me for another guy. A couple weeks after we talk, my curiosity gets the best of me and I take a drive by this guy's place. As you would expect, I find her car parked there. I'm crushed. Now, about 2 months later, I still haven't heard from her. I don't know if I should reach out to her or just keep waiting. I guess my question is, where should I go from here? Is this a relationship worth saving? The car I drive is under her. Should I just give it back? What about our shared cell phone bill? So many unknowns. It doesn't seem like she wants to work out anything at all. And I know if she continues this affair, any way our marriage would reconcile is pretty much out the door. Everyone has also been telling me to give it some time. It's still early to determine anything. And I told her I didn't want to make any irrational decision that we might regret later. I've been doing the best to take care of myself, to focus on me. I've gotten checked for STDs right away. I've been seeing a therapist quite frequently since all this began. My family and close friends are all informed and in the loop. My support system is them, and they've been there for me. I've continued working out. It's always been a thing for me. Prayer has been nice. Seeking a greater being. I know I'm going to have good days and bad days, sad days and happy days. I know my emotions are going to be all over the place. Should I be moving on? Is there something worth waiting for? Can we fix this if she opens her eyes? What's it going to be worth? Do I have to let her go for her to see what she's lost? If you read it all and have come this far, thank you. Thank you in advance. All comments are greatly appreciated. I'm so sorry you're going through this. It's clear you've put a lot of love and effort into your marriage, and it's heartbreaking to see that betrayed. You've already done so much to try to understand and work things out, but her actions show a lack of respect and accountability. It sounds like she's deep in the affair fog and unwilling to take responsibility, which makes reconciliation incredibly hard, if not impossible, without a major shift on her part. Waiting for her to come around may just prolong your pain and delay your healing. You're doing all the right things by focusing on yourself. Therapy, support from loved ones, and maintaining your physical and mental health. That's the path to healing and rediscovering your self-worth. You deserve a partner who values and respects you, not someone who makes excuses for betraying your trust. Regarding shared finances in the car, it might be time to start disentangling those. Consulting a lawyer could help you sort out those details and protect your interests. Ultimately, you have to decide what's best for you, but from the outside, it looks like moving on might be the healthiest option. Letting go could give you the closure and space to rebuild a life where you're truly valued. Wishing you strength and clarity in this difficult time.